Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Smile 2. And this is a horror sequel from writer-director Parker Finn, and this picks up 6 days after the horrific ending events of the first Smile film. And we have an opening prelude focusing on Kyle Gallner's character, who winds up coming to quite the end, and leading into a series of events that puts this haunting entity, this curse upon Naomi Scott's Skye Riley, a big-time music star who's trying to get back into the swing of things after almost dying in a car accident and overcoming a lot of substance abuse issues. And this film blows the first one out of the water in so many different ways. First off, what Finn is able to do with this bigger budget, this bigger scale, is really leverage some dynamic and creative filmmaking techniques, and also finding some really creative and eerie scares throughout this film. The way the camera moves, tilting upside down, Dutch angles, just the camera movements, perfectly placed edits to maximize scares. There's so many creative scares in particular, and some of them you see in the trailer. Unfortunately, a lot of them you see in the trailer with, the dancers that are in her, apartment or penthouse. Honestly, it looks too big to be an apartment. But you have those dancers, and that whole entire sequence is unnerving. And there's a lot of choices that Finn makes in terms of we linger on a reaction shot of Naomi Scott that builds so much tension until we finally see what she's seeing, and it's that horrific. There's so many just impressive elements in terms of scares in this. It keeps running, obviously, with the basic crux of the creepy smile, but it also has all these different ways that it subverts your expectations of what's really going on. Now, this is sleek, it's well put together. The music that they come up with for Skye Riley is really catchy and engaging. The score in this film is so unnerving, and Christabel Tapia Devere, who's the composer, crafts something absolutely unnerving and chilling. Charlie Saroff, who is the cinematographer, works well with Finn to craft some uncomfortably eerie and haunting sequences in this film. Now, story-wise, what's frustrating about... this concept is an interesting one, and they leverage it in really interesting ways in this film. But the biggest frustration about it is you never know what's real. And sure, they can use that for shock value, and they certainly do in this one, and some of them are really shocking, uncomfortable scares. And just a few moments where you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. What's been going on then? And the unfortunate thing is the more you pull back on the thread on this, the more you're probably going to get frustrated, because so much of the plot kind of becomes inconsequential to what's really going on. It's all just there for vibes and scares. And I guess emotional impact as well. The story can be frustrating in that way, but you have Naomi Scott anchoring this with an incredible performance. You see her vulnerability. She's a great scream queen. She has great presence. She has some good humor, too. And just her physicality that brings it all together. Her look is great. The costuming is awesome. She's got this Lady Gaga kind of vibe. And all of those elements just really come together to craft such a memorable and interesting protagonist, and how it deals with the themes of substance abuse and fame and what can do to you, and it deals with stalkers and how it ruins friendships and all of those different kinds of elements. You have some strong supporting turns, like Kyle Gallner early on in the film. Rosemary DeWitt plays Naomi Scott's mother, and they have a lot of big emotional beats. There's there's a series of flashbacks to Scott and Paul Nicholson, who played her now deceased boyfriend, and just the way the camera moves inside the car and just crafting some uncomfortable moments. Lucas Gage plays the drug dealer that she witnesses murdering him, just like beating himself to death with a giant round weight, which is horrific to watch. And Dylan Galula has a good bit of performance in there as well as her former best friend. And all these performers, along with the technical prowess of this, and just the top-notch scares that go on, there's so much that's really great about this film. And boy, is the ending really a game changer for this franchise. And it'll be really interesting to see how they process it. But those are my thoughts on Smile 2. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.